I sometimes think one of the many reasons why David Lynch is a genius, and I can't think of many people better than him ever, is that he has the sensibility in some ways of surrealism, but unlike a lot of surrealist directors or writers, his characters are brilliant, and there's also very strong actual emotions and desires that people have that aren't merely fetishized or weird. They're very often the kind of emotions that you get in Hitchcock films. He has this, I don't know, brilliant ability to pick what seems like they're archetypes, but they're actually very well drawn, idiosyncratic characters, and that's their starting off point, and then they become even more developed. I never really think of camera movements or types of shots with him, or even sequences, like you would with Spielberg. You just go, I know this shot comes after this shot comes up, and you go, that's a really good sequence. I don't really remember any order of shots in David Lynch films. I just remember long sequences and feelings from them. He's willing something to occur, and that he has a feeling and he's managing to transmit it. It's like that Fitzgerald quote that genius is being able to successfully transmit what you feel, and that's it. That's the only difference. And it seems like he's pretty successful in that. You don't feel something's coming out that he's going, oh, that's nothing like what I wanted at all. You really feel this is kind of direct. And so for all of its surrealism and oddness, they always feel very intimate, his films, and you almost feel like someone's whispering to you, or you lean into them in a way that's very rare in films. I never watched it when it was originally on. I occasionally glimpsed it on television, and I knew I could not watch it because it looked terrifying. It just looked like I should not be going near this thing. Any scene within Twin Peaks, if you just saw it on TV, I felt just all looked frightening. I can't think of anything that has a consistent dread like that over such a long period of time. And even the comic scenes, you just feel something's about to go wrong, or there's something not right. And I think that it's not like he even combines comic things with frightening things. It's just that everything is comic and frightening at the same time, all of the time, I feel. And that sometimes you feel that you have surreal episodes and something, or a change in tone, but the tone actually, you don't feel it going up and down, or, oh, this is just a slightly goof-off scene. It all feels like it's got that same undercurrent to it. I still find it very frightening. It still contains the single most frightening image I feel I've ever seen, which is Bob climbing over the sofa in the living room, which is still I have no idea why that's so frightening. It's not particularly dark. It's just I guess when I was watching it, it was already 10 years old, and it didn't look like something from the 90s, like, something like Friends looks like something from the 90s. That could not have been made at any other time. But I suppose a lot of small-town America is relatively timeless. If anything, it seemed to have a slight thing that you had at the tail end of the 80s, of a 50s feel that you had in certain films. Like American Werewolf in London had a 50s feel, or even Blue Velvet. It seemed to have that, but in some ways I don't know whether that's because the 50s feels like a time when America was most American in terms of its pop culture and rock and roll, and with all the post-war trauma, and it's a very potent period, I guess. And in terms of something that feels very American, maybe I think of the 50s when I think of something being very American.